Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're at one of my special filming spot locations because guess what? We have that new heavy-duty version of that iconic truck. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about this truck right here. This is a 2025 Ram 2500. This particular one is a Laramie Sport 4x4. But before we get into this mega-sized truck with new power underneath the hood, let's talk about what's going on here. So when it comes to towing, if you are doing the long haul with the towing, there's no way around it. You gotta go heavy duty. Now, of course, Ford has their Super Duty series of trucks, the F-250, 350, so on and so forth. You could get your Chevy Silverado 2500 HD, and we can't forget about the GMC Sierra 2500 HD. But Ram has brought some big changes to their big truck. Now, what's fascinating is that when it comes to the truck market, Ram really changed the whole landscape many eons ago when they were doing things with truck interiors that were just never seen before. Well, guess what? For 2025, they've brought some changes to the outside, they brought some big changes to the inside, and even underneath the hood. So what I want to find out is this new Ram 2500, specifically the Laramie Sport, is this that go-to for your 2500 HD needs? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I love the granite color, that metallic gray finish. Has so much metal flake in it, your grandpa's gonna get jealous of his balls. His bowling balls don't have nearly as much metal flake as this Ram. Now at the front of the business, you see the new face, all new lighting. So we have our LED split stacked headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and LED turn signals. I love the way everything is body color. Working our way down, LED fog lamps, and we have a nice metal painted front bumper in that same body color. But I'm liking what they've done with the lighting, especially with the daytime running lamp, and how that really connects well with the smaller version of this truck. That would be the Ram 1500. Now, as we come across the front grille, being a Laramie trim, it's actually right in the sweet spot. The only two trims above Laramie are going to be Limited and Longhorn. So it really is right in the middle. Now, when you look at the grille, new face with the Ram name spelled out, super clear as day. I love the full functionality. I wish that this Laramie Sport had a forward-facing camera, and I am gonna zonk it. I think a Laramie should have a forward-facing camera. I mean, you got the place for it right there. But the grille, looking good. Lower bottom, midsection, you do have more functionality, flat black. And then working our way down to ground level, same thing in the center with that metal painted bumper. We got our two massive black powder coated tow recovery hooks. And wait until you hear about the numbers that this thing could tow. But let me know what you think about the face of this new Ram, especially when you look at the Ford Super Duty or the Silverado or the Sierra. Now, as we rise up, we have an optional sport hood. Because this is a sport trim, you are gonna get this functional hood scoop, nice big bulge with your heat extractors, and I really like the way it's got the 2500 heavy duty spelled out for you, looking great. Another thing that's really perfect is how they did the LED marker lights, those DOT required marker lights across the roof. That's because of the width of this beast. And then as we come around wide, you are gonna get these optional sport wheels. So these are polished aluminum. It's an 20 by 8.5 inch wheel, that hand polished aluminum. Like the nice little touch with the raised white letters. Tires are 285 on the width, 60 series sidewall. And then Lori's gonna swing on in to show our upgraded suspension with our springs, new shock absorbers, and of course that steel box frame. Now rising on up, you can get your Ram 2500, two different flavors when it comes to power underneath the hood. Ours doesn't have the V8. It's got the Cummins turbo diesel engine. And there's some big changes. Wait until you hear how much torque this freaking truck has. It could basically pull a house right off its foundation. Now you do have power folding mirrors. Laramie trim is going to get you that chrome finish with the exterior lighting. You do have your Ram badge on the doors, your fixed running boards with the blingy shiny finish to them. I do like the fact that we have color match on the door handles. I don't want any more chrome. Obviously, with these mirrors, they do power extend, which is great. That crew cab size. Coming towards the rear, one of the things that's smart is, look at how far the running board goes to where I could get access into the bed by stepping on that running board. You'll notice at the rear that steel box frame with our bed mounted to it. This being a Laramie Sport, we got our Sport badge, and this is a 4x4. So you got your 2-speed transfer case, you got that heavy rear end, heavy duty rear end. At the back, updated lighting, full LED, just like up front. We have our Laramie badge. We have the Ram name spelled out in the bling bling and shiny stuff, even 4x4. If you don't like the shiny stuff, they have different trims. So that's good. You get a Ram Rebel 2500. This just happens to be the Laramie trim. Now, as we work our way down, our full tow hookup, all of our connectivity is high out of the mud, out of all the mess. You can see that massive rear pumpkin, and it ain't even Halloween, that massive rear differential. And I'm gonna have Lori kind of swing around just a little bit to show us that exhaust slash cut for our turbo diesel engine. And then when we get to the back, of course, with this being a pickup truck, we do have that bed. Nice soft release, bed liner all put in. On the driver's side, you got your home power source, which is great. Tie down locations, LED bed lighting. And then you got your power sliding rear cab glass. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about the exterior. Let's pop the hood and see the changes for 2025. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Of course, you do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, Lori's gonna show off that updated, upgraded Cummins turbo diesel engine. Now, it still has the same displacement, but the engine from the block up has been redesigned. Still 6.7 liters, still an inline 6 turbo diesel, but here are some of the changes. You now have greater fuel pressure. So we got different fuel pump, fuel injectors. We got an all new turbo. Instead of the manifold, the aluminum manifold being all one piece to the head, it's now bolted to the head. Much better design. And here's where the numbers come into play. 430 horsepower, but check this out. 1,075 pound-feet of torque. They got rid of the 6-speed. You now get a TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60, not too shabby. 6.7 seconds. Top speed, 105 miles per hour. You could tow up to 20,000 pounds. Payload is 2,701 pounds. The truck weighs 8,300 pounds. So quite stout on what they were able to upgrade and how they were able to boost all the numbers from torque to towing to everything else in between. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this diesel up and hear if it makes all those familiar sounds. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Ram 2500, being the Laramie Sport Trim 4x4. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I just bought myself a new toy. I got myself a 36-foot Wellcraft boat. Take out onto the lake, take it out into the ocean. I need something to pull it, and I'm not messing around anymore. I used to pull my old boats with small wimpy trucks. I'm ready to just yank that boat around like there's nothing on the back of the truck. How much is this Ram? Very good question. This being the Laramie trim, Sport 4x4, you're looking at an MSRP right around $84,000. But let's see what Ram has in store for the inside to the door panels. Once again, Ram proves they know premium interiors. Soft touch material, contrast stitching, real open pore wood, and Alcantara. No gloss black. You have a center Twinkie pocket right in the middle there for 4 Twinkies. And then down below, you could get your 2 Jersey Mike subs with extra dressing and have your Yeti bottle down there full of Hawaiian fruit punch. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the soft touch, the stitching, that Laramie badge, open sesame, look at that. This is where you could go to town and put your small bags of chips and Doritos, Fritos, Cheetos, all those in this compartment right here, and you seal it up. On the side, you have your banana pocket. If you're trying to be a little healthy and get some potassium, you got your banana pocket. And then come on in, up top, we have more of that wood trim. This is where you could put 2 hot dogs from 7-Eleven and you'll actually be able to cook them on a hot Florida day right up here. You do have a 12 volt, and we have the Alpine sound system. Now, your standard size screen is 12.4 inches, or you can get an over 14-inch screen. Both screens are portrait style, but I like the way that they're integrated into the dash. Very clean. And look at this, real buttons. You could adjust your blower fan, dual climate control, of course. Down below, you hit comfort. This is another way to make your adjustments. We do have, in this Laramie, 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, and 3 stages of a heated steering wheel. That, to me, shows what Ram is bringing. You got all your apps, especially things like off-road pages. We hit that. Now we're going to be able to get into our off-road settings. Check it out. It's got your 4x4. You can lock that front diff setup. You got all your auxiliary gauges, even your pitch and your roll. And then you can make any other adjustments. Rear view camera. Camera quality, nice and clear. You want to see if anybody's sleeping in the bed? You can see that. See if some random person is just sleeping in the bed of your truck. You could really scare the heck out of them. And then right back where we started. I could go into my home, have different things displayed, or we could go in a vehicle, and that's also going to get us into things like our dashboard control. So you have those off-road pages like I just showed you, but you also have towing and trailering. So you could assign your trailers, trailer brake, the trans temp, all of that stuff, even do a light check. That's stuff that's going to make you look like a champ when you're putting your boat in the water. Which back when I was a kid, my dad, that was what he threatened me, was don't make us look like idiots when we're putting the boat in the water. And trust me, I never did. I wouldn't be here to tell the tale. You got real volume knob, real tuning knobs. Over here, here's where we're going to do our 4x4, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive low. 8-speed automatic is column shifted. And then back over here, we got some toggle switches. And then you got more connectivity than they had when they went to the freaking moon. 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, an aux jack, 2 wireless chargers, 2 cup holders, and then look at this. So much storage that you can put, I would say, 4-pound puppies in here, and you got a home power source. I remember growing up, my sisters loved pound puppies. I used to be mean. I used to take them and hide them. I would hide the pound puppies. I used to tell them they're back in the pound. I would never do that in real life, just so you know. In the center here, when you slide this back to close, you do have enough room for, you know when you go to the movies and they give you that little tiny cardboard container, it's like red and white? That's where you can put your nachos with the fake cheese and the jalapenos on it. This key fob is freaking tough. Look at this thing. I feel like I could break somebody's head with it if I threw it at them. Got remote start, drop the rear tailgate. There's the Ram lock horns. stitching, open it up. This is where you can put your family jewels, your pearl necklace. Maybe you're giving somebody a pearl necklace, you could keep it in here. You have your Rolexes, your jewels, whatever you got. And then look at this, I'm not even done. More storage underneath. You could put a 5-pound bag of apples here. So if you take a trip to Washington, get yourself some Washington Red Delicious apples. And then if you fail math, here's your cheat sheet. It's got all your geometry here. So if you didn't do well in geometry, just flip this up and there's your cheat sheet. I wish I had one of these when I was in geometry. And then the seats, the leather, the Laramie embroidery, the piping, the Alcantara, the stitching, 8-way electric assist for the passenger, 8-way electric assist for the driver. The one sad thing is for 84 grand, you don't get a sunroof in this Laramie. I know that will make some of you sad. Doesn't make me sad. I don't care, but I know some of you will be sad. Let me know in the comment section. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you what it's like to be behind the wheel of this Laramie. All right, guys, business side. 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. You got your easy to understand seat controls. Love the piping, the stitching. The seats are so comfortable and you have lots of room in here. I promise you that. Steering wheel, the leather. You can lock horns with that ram staring at you in the face, flat black when all the switch gear. It is a manual tilting wheel. It does not go in or out. What you do is you actually hit this to move the pedals, which is kind of cool. That's what a lot of the trucks have nowadays, where you can adjust the pedals. The dash, though, is really where they knocked out of the park. 12.3 inches, super clear. You have lots of different information that you could scroll through and different ways of having that information displayed, which is really nice. Love the work that they did with that. Very, very good. No head-up display in the Laramie, but the gauges are so good, I don't think you're gonna miss a head-up display. But let's get in the back seat and see what your passengers are gonna think of this new Ram. All right, guys, backseat time, and obviously there's plenty of room back here, more room than I had in my college dorm room. It's crazy just how much space there is. Speakers in the ceiling for that Alpine sound system. Nice large pockets. You could easily put, I would say, 4 Krispy Kreme glaze. Love a good hot glaze from Krispy Kreme. You could put your 2 bottles of Yoo-Hoo back here to wash down your donuts. Got a little pocket here for some Tootsie Rolls, your AC vents, and then just like up front, all this connectivity. More than Radio Shack, more than Circuit City. Unbelievable. USB-Cs, USB-As, and a home power source. Seats are comfy. The materials are phenomenal. Pull this bad boy down. Just enough armrest for your arm and 2 cup holders. And then look, down below, you got 2 more cup holders. So they really take good care of you when it comes to the cup holders. And then just the leather and the piping, just like up front. But why don't we go ahead? It's that time. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little spin in this big Ram Laramie. All right, guys, we are inside this Ram 2500 Laramie Sport 4x4, and right away you find out why Ram wins best truck of the year when they come out with these redesigns. Just like the 1500, the 2500 checks off so many boxes of things that you didn't even know you needed in a truck, but boy oh boy are you glad that they have them in this truck. Getting to the infotainment system well within reach. I like the way it's cleanly integrated. They did a masterful job on the gauges. I felt like the previous gauges with the mixture of the analog and the digital was a little too busy. This setup is super clean, very nice colors and fonts and resolution. And then seeing the bulge in that sport hood is getting me very excited, because it just has that get out of my way truck style to it. Going down the road, even though we're in a Laramie, the seats are fantastic. You are getting a bit of road noise and some wind noise, but not as bad as you would think, especially with those massive billboard-sized mirrors. But they're important for when you're trailering that boat. You don't want to look like a clown in front of everybody. It's not going to be a fun day. But with more torque, more power from the Cummins turbo diesel engine, and Cummins is one of those companies that there's a reason why Ram partnered with them to design this engine, is because they know turbo diesel engines very, very well. And with the changes, it makes sense why the truck drives as well as it does. Now, sometimes with a truck this size, it could be a little, you know, discouraging getting behind the wheel, but it's actually very easy to drive. I love the way it's got an 8-speed automatic now rather than the 6-speed, especially when you're on the highway. Good to have that extra gearing for when you're cruising and when you're towing. And having that 20,000 pound towing capacity, it's almost gonna feel like you don't even have a boat back there that you're pulling. But really, really nice on the overall dimensions. And we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Drops down and we're off to the races. Handling is actually very controllable. Not a bunch of body roll, which is nice. And then here we go, on throttle, yeah! For an 8,000 pound vehicle, it actually accelerates pretty well. Nice and linear torque delivery, and the 8-speed was the wise choice. I mean, it behaves very, very well with this Cummins turbo diesel engine. You got all your safety features, and then of course, depending on what trim you go with, you get more. You get more cameras, the panoramic sunroof. I know $84,000 is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the price of other trucks, you are getting a lot of different things with this truck. And that is what's great about it. You're getting a lot of capability because you could easily spend $84,000 on one of the other brand's trucks as well. But the seats, the interior, you feel like you're the captain of the ship. Great view, great visibility. And like I said, whether you're driving on the highway, on a side street, or going through your neighborhood, it's very, very comfortable to drive, and it's easy to drive. Even to park. A lot of times with these big trucks, parking is a big bear. But with this truck, it is a snap. 1, 2, 3. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this Ram 2500 Laramie Sport 4x4. It is a mouthful to say, but it is a lot of truck that you're trying to digest here. But we're gonna get back to where it all started, so I'll see you in a Ram minute. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways with this new 2025 Ram 2500 being that Laramie trim with the sport package and 4x4. Got to thank everybody at Ram for allowing us to have access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Has Ram made the right choices to topple the competition, and is this the must own of those big heavy duty trucks? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Got to give it up to LGR. Latte Lori is working the magic, even though it is hotter than a cup of her world famous latte and other coffee treats. So thank you, Lori, for working through the pain. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.